People want to recover things of the flesh. If I lose money, I want that money to come back to me. If I get sick, I want to be healed. And in many other situations, I want things to be restored the way I want them to be. But as I went through each of those stages, what God always restored in me was my spiritual state. So every time I became spiritually stronger, learned more about God, and gained deeper understanding, there was always a bit of bitterness in my heart. God, please don't just look at this side. Could you also pay attention to this other side as well? Look at me. I'm struggling so much with this right now. God, when are you going to fill this part for me? This feeling just keeps lingering. Isn't that just human nature? We all have this love for ourselves, this self-centeredness, this tendency to only think about ourselves. So my recovery was always rooted in these physical, worldly things. But God, in such a mysterious way, how can things like this happen? What he does is open our eyes to service. How can something like this even happen? And then our deaf ears are opened. So everyone, as humans, we're only half happy. The other half is just, how can something like this happen? But even so, every day I give thanks to God for spiritual things. Yet when I come back to this reality, I still have to pay off debts just like everyone else. I still feel pressure from others. I still get stressed out by the world. I still feel weighed down by others. And it's still hard with my family. So when we stand in the middle of this, we have to make wise decisions. So one day I sat down seriously and said to God, let's have a talk, God. I just sat down like that. I started fasting and sat down saying, God, please speak to me. Why do you only fill me spiritually? I'm living in this world. Can't you help me not to be so sensitive to these things? I went to Africa when you told me to, and I went to Pakistan when you told me to. In fact, when I went to Pakistan during the height of the COVID-19 outbreak, there were only 5 people on a plane that could hold several hundred. Even though the whole world was wearing masks and everything was shut down with airports closed everywhere, God told me to go. My husband said, hey, can't you please just stop now? Honey, even if I die, I have to go. Even if I come back from Pakistan as a corpse, I still have to go. That's how I went. But then I sat down before God and said, God, I did everything you told me to do. Whenever God spoke, I never hesitated or asked him to repeat himself, nor did I say, let me pray about it. The moment he told me to go, I left, and I did exactly as he commanded. But how is it that you only take care of me spiritually? Please, just once, could you also look after my physical needs? Because if I don't have to worry about these things, I can focus more on this ministry. At that time, in this world, in our country, no one knew who Kwon Young-mi was. I had never done YouTube. I didn't meet anyone at all. When I was fully in God, I didn't meet a single friend, not even for a cup of coffee. It was just God and me, only the two of us. So as I did everything I was told, one day on an airplane, an angel, an incredibly huge angel, came to me and said that I would be doing this kind of healing ministry. The angel even gave me an organ, and I continued to experience all sorts of amazing spiritual things. When I spoke in tongues for 24 hours, God let me see and open up to even more incredible things. After I finished taking communion, God would tell me, if you go out like this right now, I will heal people like these. And it would happen just as he said. Or he would say, if you go out for 3 days with the handkerchief you anointed with oil, I will completely heal a child who has no eyeballs. He fills me with all sorts of amazing spiritual experiences. But I kept feeling like one half of me was still longing for something from this world that wasn't being fulfilled. But at some point when I sat before God and asked him about it, the answer he gave me left me with no choice but to completely surrender everything. I was able to see myself. I saw just how fleshly I was, how worldly I was, how much I loved myself, how I only thought about my family, and how, because of my personality, I couldn't stand owing even 1,001, yet ended up with this unfair debt. All these things, the inability to repay, the fact that I couldn't fill my own heart's desire for perfection, God showed me that I had been living by my own will, revealing every detail to me. After that, for several years, I never once said a single word to God about this matter. No matter what kind of pressure came or what situation I faced, not once did I say to God, God, what are you going to do about this? I even erased all thoughts of it from my mind. So, through God's amazing guidance, amidst so many miracles, he sent me out into the world. Let me experience those things and witness miracles, things that could never happen in this world. Yet he made me see them with my own eyes and touch them with my own hands. Spiritually, he kept lifting me up as if I had wings. Being with that God, I learned to completely exclude all things of this world, and I learned how God sets apart a person as a spiritual being, as someone who belongs to heaven. And after that, God repaid everything, changed all the people who had made things difficult for me, and completely arranged my surroundings so that I could focus solely on Him. When we surrender, the Lord knows better than we do. Everyone, can we change another person? We can't even change our own parents, not according to our will. We can't change our children according to our will either. Only God can change a person. But God, in His own way, completely changed all these amazing things in a very short period of time. And every time I grew bigger and matured spiritually, God, through even more amazing miracles, made me stronger, building me up with a more powerful mind, a more disciplined body, and a heart that never gives up, making me stronger and stronger and stronger. After all of that was settled and everything was put in order, God told me exactly 3 months later to start the ministry. He told me to do missions and to take people out to the nations all over the world.